in 5, 4, 3, 2. Do, 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 do. I know you see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. Ding, ding, ding. Live life, breathe air. I know somehow I'm gonna get there and be so wonderful. Doo, doo. How about the rest? Okay. Hey guys, we're back at you again with another YouTube video, and today we'll be talking about media literacy. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Michaela.
Let's get into it. Today, we will be talking about media literacy.
So what media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and act upon using all forms of communication.
And our media literacy is on news. So for our project, we decided to interview multiple NP3 students to see when they watch the news, how they watch the news, and how often they watch the news.
So let's take a look.
Okay, Kiko, where do you get your news?
I get my news just watching television.
The television in my parents' room.
I get my news from the TV.
Okay.
TV.
The news.
From CNN.
Okay.
PNN.
I usually get my news, well, sometimes from, I sometimes restrict my use on how I watch like the local news. Sometimes I usually get my news from Stephen Colbert.
Off of TV, KCRA3.
But I get my news from PNN.
KCRA in the morning, and then also from current events that we do every other week in AP Gov.
What news do your parents watch?
Fox 40 News.
Usually KCRA and Fox 40.
I think it's NCSN. I think it's ABC 10 maybe.
KCR3 is good.
From CNN.
Fox?
Usually Lester Holt and KCRA3. That's usually what my parents watch.
On TV.
My mom watches a lot of like constitutional law things because she works for my uncle who works in a law firm.
How often do you watch the news?
Not really. It's like if I go in my mom's room and see the news, I just sit down and start watching it.
If there's like something like that, like I saw on social media, like I saw that happen, then I'll watch the news and see if it's on there.
I don't really watch it often, but my parents do, and I watch with them like in the evening. Every day.
Twice a month. I don't know, twice a month? Okay.
Basically every day.
Every Tuesday when PNN comes out.
Which is about it can be ranged from 2 to 5 times a week. It's usually during the night.
Once every week.
To be honest, rarely. Like I never ever watch it.
Yes, I have a lot of good information on the news.
Yeah, because it like tells us what's actually going on in the world, and like that's like a privilege that a lot of other generations didn't really have.
Yeah, because it tells us like honest.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
To know what's going around, like your city or whatever.
Because you need to be informed about what's happening around the world.
Because people need to know like what's going on and like the political stance and like what's going on around the world.
I feel we have a right to really know what's going on in our country because I mean, we live here, things happen, and I feel like we have the right to know things.
Because it shows like what's going on in the world, like good or bad.
I feel like sometimes it's too negative, so I don't just watch it that much at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay guys, I'm back. Let's go see what Sammy thought about these interviews. Oh hey Sammy!
Hi, Michaela, come join me.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so after those interviews, we learned a lot about what people think about news. The younger kids in middle school didn't really watch much news, and they kind of just followed what their parents thought.
So what we noticed is that many of the kids that we interviewed talked about how they think news is very important. However, we did notice that they didn't keep up to date on the news. They barely watched it, and they ended up only watching it when their parents decided to.
Teachers, thoughts.
Okay, Ms. Osborne, where do you get your news?
I get my news generally not from watching the news on TV. I get it from watching The Daily Show, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Hassan Minaj's new show. I listen to podcasts, generally political podcasts or NPR's Up First, which is 10 minutes each morning. I listen to over breakfast and listen to generally NPR in the car.
I get news from a lot of different sources, some mainstream stuff like newspapers, the New York Times, Washington Post, sometimes TV news, but then also critical and non-mainstream news like Democracy Now!, The Real News.
And how often do you listen or watch the news?
Every day. I'm watching the news. I also have apps on my phone from CNN, Channel 3, BBC, Al Jazeera English, so that I get a variety of news sources.
Pretty frequently. I like to listen to news podcasts on my drive to work. I read newspaper articles most days, so almost every day.
Do you think students are educated on the news?
Depends on which students we're talking about. I think the older students get, the more they are interested in following the news and knowing what's happening and why things are happening. But I think engagement with current events in the news doesn't really start until sometime during junior year.
Depends on the kid. Many kids are, some aren't. Part of my class is current events, so I kind of require kids to follow the news. It's a government class, so that kind of makes sense. In general, I would say young people are not super informed about the news.
Okay, guys, let's go talk about these teachers' thoughts. Let's go find Michaela. Hi, Michaela.
Hi, Sammy.
Let's go join her.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, what do you think about those teachers?
I think the teachers were aware of many students' lack of knowledge in accordance to news, but I also did notice that they had very good tips on what to do and how we can benefit ourselves by actually understanding and listening to news. What do you think?
I think they did a really good job of them watching news really often. I mean, we asked a constitutional law teacher and a government teacher, so of course they'd watch the news a lot, but I think we should try and take some tips from them.
So guys, all in all, we just wanted to say it's important to watch the news, get informed, learn about things that are happening in your community, in the government, and everywhere.
But there's a catch. What's important for you guys to also understand is that finding reliable news sources is also a priority. What you can do is you can find editors that you like, that you know are reliable. You can find local news that are most likely reliable. You can also just educate yourself as much as you can, trying to understand what reliable news sources actually, where they come from. Some of the things that we like to watch, especially learning from our teachers and all of the things that we study in school, is the Washington Post, and that's a really good one. We also do the New York Times. CNN is a really good one to watch on TV, and also online articles are great too. MSNBC is also a great one, and of course NP3 News, PNN is awesome. So just educating yourself as much as possible is very important to keep in mind.
So that's it for us, guys. We just wanted to
you.
educate you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for your time.
Like and subscribe. Click the link down below. Bye.
Bye. Okay guys, let's go find Sammy and see what she thought about all of this. Oh hey Sammy!
Hi, Michaela, come join me.
Okay. Oh shit, left the door open.
Okay.
Nice.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. Just drive through my school. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for ruining my fucking news. News. No, I thought we were doing it when we got down. No.
You said news when we sat down, and now we're doing it when we fall. Which one is it?
What we say.
Okay.
Okay. Last one, I swear.